Swinton 32, Huddersfield 16, Dewsbury 28, Keighley 33, Runcorn 16. Quick look at the table. Carlisle really had to beat Swinton today to keep their promotion hopes alive. Swinton's victory, in fact, leaves them a comfortable 5 points clear of fourth-placed York. Well, now the highlights from a crushing Great Britain performance against France at Headingley yesterday with Brendan Foley.
Still smarting from the drubbing they got in Perpignan last month, France began brightly enough, but Gallic spirits took a nosedive when Gary Schofield, ever alert to the half chance, gobbled up Ontas' pass in midfield and raced away all on his own for the simplest of tries. Paul Eastwood added the conversion to his earlier penalty to make it 8-0. Just after the half-hour mark, Eastwood, the goal kicker, became Eastwood the try scorer. Steve Hampson with the pass and the whole winger in unopposed in the corner. The conversion followed and Great Britain went in 16-0 up at half-time. French coach Jacques Jourda had no inkling of the avalanche to come. Just after the restart, a rare sight, Martin afire in the role of provider, Schofield dragging himself over for a second try. Coming up now, afire in a more familiar role. The Widnes flyer outstrips the French defence with something to spare. Eastwood's sixth goal made it 28-0, and Mal Reilly's men really turned up the heat with their third try in 7 minutes. Sean Edwards leaves the French defenders trailing in his wake. Eastwood goaled again, 34-0. If the visitors weren't already demoralised, they soon were to be with the best try of the match. Darryl Powell making room in the centre. Good break by Richie Ayres there. And Fairback launching a fire on another streak for the line. Steve Hampson added another converted try when afire completed his hat-trick. Powell brought down just short of the line. And afire, of all people, plunging over. Any second rower would have been proud of that one. The conversion made it 48-0, but afire was far from finished. Kevin Ellis's torpedo pass, try number 4 for the Widnes winger. The French were in tatters now. Schofield pounces on a loose pass, and a typical piece of opportunism puts him above Billy Boston in the all-time scoring charts. His 25th international try, only Mick Sullivan has scored more. France did manage a consolation try through Ponce, but it was fitting the last word should go to Mal Reilly's men. Lee Jackson playing to the whistle. A lovely pass by Schofield, and that man of fire in for his 5th try. That beat Alex Murphy's record on the same ground 20 years ago. The final score a record 2. Great Britain 60, France 4.
And we'll see some of those stars again when Scrumdown returns in 2 weeks' time with Wigan against Wakefield from Central Park. We leave you tonight with an international centre currently out of the Great Britain ranks, Andy Currier. This was his day. From Headingley, good night.
This Monday evening, Mavis
And it's all change at the top of the championship. David Crease's try and 6 goals carry Leeds into #1 spot. Castleford's slump continues, they drop to 3rd. Ellery Hanley helps Wigan stay in touch with the leaders as Hull's title hopes end at the Boulevard. John Bastian's 2 tries help resurgent Featherstone pull off the shock of the day at St Helens. John Woods kicks his 100th goal of the season for Warrington to push Halifax closer to Division 2. And Steve Kerry's 2 tries for Salford do the same to Hull KR. When the season's first issue is settled, it's congratulations to Lee, promoted despite not playing today. Now the results.
starting with the Stones Bitter Championship. Bradford Northern 16, Widnes 16. Hull 18, Wigan 28. Hull KR 18, Salford 24. Leeds 32, Castleford 18. Oldham 24, Wakefield Trinity 8. St Helens 10, Featherstone Rovers 31. Warrington 33, Halifax 4. And in Division 2, Barrow 20, Sheffield Eagles 24. Batley 25, Workington 14. Chorley Borough 4, York 6. Hunslet 11, Doncaster 8. Keighley 38, Mansfield Marksmen 6. The match between Rochdale Hornets and Fulham was postponed. Runcorn Highfield 8, Dewsbury 48. Swinton 16, Bramley 0. And finally the match between Whitehaven and Lee was also postponed.
So Leeds are the new leaders of Division 1. They've played 4 games more than Widnes, just a point in arrears, and 3 more than Castleford, who are on the same mark. And watch out for Wigan as the championship comes to boiling point. At the foot of the table, Halifax and Hull Kingston Rovers seem doomed, with Oldham and Wakefield perhaps disputing the 3rd relegation spot. Lee's game at Whitehaven was postponed, but Doncaster's defeat at Hunslet left them mathematically certain of promotion. Doncaster have never won a match at Ellen Road, and their defeat, coupled with Sheffield's first ever win at Barrow, meant the 2 South Yorkshire clubs swapped places, with York coming very much into the picture after winning at Chorley. And now for that bonus we promised you. It was a repeat of the Yorkshire Cup final at Headingley, with Leeds meeting Castleford. It was a fine flowing game, and a typical Leeds try coming up here. A fine break by Carl Gibson, and he finds the supporting John Bentley just in time for the former England Rugby Union man to romp over for the game's first points. That one was converted, but Castleford came right back into it with a good break from Keith England. And Castleford, keeping at it, managed to squeeze the ball away for Bob Beardmore. And again the support was there from Anderson and from Rookley, and it's Giles Boothroyd who goes over. He was a scorer, of course, in that Yorkshire Cup final as well. So Castleford back in it there, and in fact they led 10 points to 8. But it was a good first half performance from Leeds, and they kept plugging away at the Castleford line. And when Roy Powell intervened, Gary Schofield was there as well. And the ball switching around between the hands, Phil Ford hauled down just short of the Castleford line. But Castleford having to fight hard to organise the ranks, and when Lee Crooks slips a lovely ball, there's a try for David Creaser. So Leeds were back in front then at 12 points to 10, and before half-time they managed to conjure up another try, and a rare one indeed for loose forward David Heron. A really good sprint by him. If the entertainment had been good in the first half, it was just as good in the second. Castleford, having brought on Roy Southernwood, profiting there from Southernwood's kick, and Tony Marchant goes in for the 100th try of his career, and it came at a perfect moment for Castleford. 20 points to 14 it was then. But Leeds, who'd won at Hull Kingston Rovers during the week, always threatened to get more points, and a fine break here by Creaser sets them up once more. Substitute Lord carried the move on, so did Carl Gibson. And Gary Schofield is over, scoring for the 2nd successive game. Perhaps he's coming back to better form. Castleford still not finished, however. And again Southernwood involved in a move. Anderson holding on really well. Boothroyd getting the ball away, and Mark Gibson goes over, his first try in Castleford colours. But it was still to be Leeds' day. Ashton, Heron once more involved. And again, desperate defending for Castleford. Leeds always looked as though they were going to plunder another try from this situation. Heron took some hauling down. And Gary Schofield pointing there, indicating perhaps the up and under. And that's exactly what happens here. Schofield had read it right. And some disarray in the Castleford ranks, and behind their own line, up pops Carl Gibson. He's over for the try. And by now the fans convinced that it's going to be 2 more points for Leeds. And David Creaser caps it all with a goal, his 6th, and that's 1,000 points for him in a Leeds shirt. Final score, Leeds 32, Castleford 18, Leeds go top. Well, we'll be back in 5 days' time for the Good Friday Humberside derby between Hull
that was more like the Leeds we saw in the first half. The ball fairly fizzing along the line. Jackson threw it out, and Leeds are keeping it going again. And out there on the right side, if Morris gets the pass at the right time, can he slip past the fire? Well, he kicked in field. And unless Myler makes a mess of this... Oh, well, upsy-daisy. Morris did so well, but which side of the line is Myler? He's on the right side. So possession is retained by the Chemics. And that was crucial because Leeds would have had the ball back otherwise. Shearer's kick picked up. Basnick comes inside, as he's done to great effect once or twice today. It's one of his best displays for Leeds. And the crowd once more getting behind Leeds, but the ball is lost by Stevenson. Chances here for Widnes. Shearer taken out of the game by Gert. And the referees have to be fit these days. And I think the penalty must have been given Widnes' way. There was no doubt about it. Shearer was completely put out of the game by Marty Gert.
He was, and Dale Shearer is playing exceptionally well. I mean, he really has been at the hub of everything Widnes has done. And when he came away with that ball and to kick ahead, there was no doubt at all about it. Gert had no hesitation in knocking him down without the ball, a resultant penalty.
Dale Shearer picks himself up. Australian Test player, of course. It's an unusual position to see him in. But that's his profile. Scored a try for Australia against Great Britain on the last tour. Hands on head and a few hearts in mouths. Myler with the kick. And that's 2 points for Widnes. And the Widnes fans at the back of that goal acknowledge the kicking ability of John Myler. And Widnes are 3 points in front on a day that they really do want to win badly. And as he comes back, it's amazing Widnes have grabbed the initiative while Ayres has been in the dressing room. Basnick's done some great running for Leeds today as he comes inside once more to take Gert's pass. Now Medley, who sets off on one of his bulldozing charges. Heron, brilliant. And Lyons, good support from the ex-Wakefield Trinity man. Widnes have another player flat out on the ground. Oh, Lyons skipping through. The man at his shoulder is Schofield again. Terrific try from Gary Schofield. And that's why Leeds paid a world record fee for him. He's a pure genius at popping up at the right place in the right time.
What more can you say about this guy? I mean, he can be in the game, he throws a couple of bad passes, it hasn't put him off at all. And here he is again on the shoulder. As soon as the scrum half slipped his man, there was Gary on the shoulder of him, over for a try under the post. And this really is a nail in Widnes' coffin. They did so well, they've come back into the game, and my gosh, suddenly this fellow Schofield turns up again and scores a try under the post, giving David Stevenson a very simple conversion.
He waves the salute. He's 6 feet tall and he weighs 13 stone 5 pounds, and when he's in full flow he takes some stopping.
It really is a great try, this, because I mean it's at a time when Leeds have got to get back into the game, and who better to do it than Gary Schofield?
It was pure instinct, that of a great try scorer. And now Stevenson with Leeds 22, Widnes 21. It's now 24-21, and what a time for Leeds to go back in front. 3 points the difference. What a finish we're going to have. Well, it's no wonder the Leeds fans roll up in their droves. 11,966 here today, and it's because they're so richly entertained. Another important scrum for Leeds to win. So although Maskell hasn't outshone Mackenzie in the scrums, he's won them at good times. Fairbank, plunging run from Fairbank, who's only been in the professional game for a matter of weeks. And Leeds have got a penalty thanks to Fairbank's persistence. They had to hold him down.